The turkey was perfect, golden brown, sitting in the center of my sister's dining table like something from a magazine cover. The dining room looked beautiful too, with fall decorations that must have cost a fortune, expensive place settings with gold-rimmed china, crystal wine glasses that caught the afternoon light, and cloth napkins embroidered with autumn leaves. Everything was coordinated, planned, expensive. I knew the decorations alone cost more than my monthly grocery budget, or at least that's what everyone thought my budget looked like. I'd arrived at noon with my two kids, 7-year-old Sophie and 9-year-old Michael. They'd been excited about seeing their cousins, about the promised pumpkin pie, about having a real family Thanksgiving with extended family and all the traditional foods. I'd warned them to be on their best behavior, to say please and thank you, to not ask for seconds unless offered, to keep their voices down and their elbows off the table. My sister Lauren lived in a beautiful 4-bedroom house in the suburbs with a manicured lawn and a 2-car garage. Her husband worked in sales, made decent money and drove a BMW that he traded in every 3 years for a newer model. They had 2 kids, both teenagers now, both used to getting what they wanted without question. The house always looked perfect, like something from a home design show, with matching furniture, artwork on the walls and fresh flowers in vases throughout the rooms. What nobody knew was that I'd been paying their mortgage for the past 5 years. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Dinner started well enough. Lauren's husband carved the turkey. Her mother-in-law complimented the sweet potatoes. My kids sat quietly using their napkins, remembering their manners. I'd brought a store-bought pie because that was all I could manage with my work schedule, and Lauren had made a point of mentioning she'd made everything else from scratch. Must be nice to have so much free time, I'd said with a smile. Well, some of us prioritize family traditions, she'd replied. I let it go. I always let it go. The conversation flowed around the table. Lauren's husband talked about a promotion he was expecting. Her son discussed his college applications. Her daughter mentioned the car she wanted for her 16th birthday. Everyone had plans, dreams, expectations. Then dessert came out. Lauren's younger son, my 13-year-old nephew Tyler, was passing plates when he suddenly announced to the entire table, "Mom says Aunt Julie is just the family burden we have to invite because she has nowhere else to go." The room went silent for exactly 2 seconds. Then they roared. Lauren tried to look embarrassed, but she was laughing. Her husband actually slapped the table. Her mother-in-law nodded knowingly. Even her daughter giggled behind her hand. "Tyler," Lauren said weakly, still smiling, "you weren't supposed to say that out loud." "But it's true, right?" Tyler pressed. "You said she can't even afford a real house. That's why she rents that tiny apartment." More laughter. I looked at my children. Sophie's eyes were filling with tears. Michael's face had turned red, his jaw clenched. They understood enough to know their mother was being mocked, that their family was being called poor, that they were being pitted. I stood up calmly, folding my napkin and placing it beside my half-eaten pie. "Sophie, Michael, get your coats, please." "Oh, come on," Lauren said, her smile fading slightly. "It's just a joke. Don't be so sensitive. We're leaving. You're overreacting. Tyler didn't mean anything by it. Kids say things." I helped Sophie into her jacket. Michael grabbed his on his own, his hands shaking slightly. "Thank you for having us," I said politely. "Happy Thanksgiving." Lauren's husband called after us. "Don't leave like this. It's a holiday." I walked out with my children, closing the door quietly behind me. In the car, Sophie cried. Michael stared out the window, silent and hurt. I drove them to a diner and ordered pancakes for dinner, because traditions are only meaningful when you're with people who respect you. "Are we really a burden?" Sophie asked quietly. "No, baby. We're not. Are we poor? We have everything we need. And we're happy. That's what matters." Michael didn't say anything, but I saw his hands relax slightly. At home that evening, I made hot chocolate and we watched a movie together. Around 9 o'clock, my phone buzzed. A text from Lauren. "Send the mortgage help now. Payment is due tomorrow." I stared at the message for a long moment. Every month for 5 years I'd sent her $3,000. She'd called it a temporary loan at first, when she and her husband had gotten behind on their bills. Then it became expected. Then it became something she never mentioned at all. I typed back, "Absolutely not." 3 dots appeared immediately. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. "What do you mean no? You always send it." "Not anymore." Julie, don't be petty. So Tyler said something stupid. He's 13. Get over it. I didn't respond. My phone rang. I didn't answer. It rang again. And again. Finally, I turned it off and went to bed. The next morning, I woke to 17 missed calls and a dozen text messages. I made coffee and read through them while my kids slept in. Lauren, you're really going to let us lose our house over a joke? Lauren's husband, be an adult about this. Your sister needs you. Lauren, Mom would be so disappointed in you right now. Lauren, fine. I'm sorry. Tyler's sorry. Send the money. I deleted them all and opened my laptop instead. 5 years ago, Lauren had called me crying. She and her husband had overextended themselves buying the house. The mortgage was more than they could afford. They'd already missed 2 payments. The bank was sending threatening letters. They were going to lose it. Their credit would be ruined. They'd have to pull the kids out of their schools. Could I help just for a few months, just until they got back on their feet? I'd helped. Not because I was wealthy, but because I'd been careful with every dollar I earned. I worked as a senior accountant at a mid-sized firm, a stable job that paid well but not extravagantly. I lived modestly, saved aggressively, invested wisely. I'd made smart choices with my money since I was 22 years old. My tiny apartment was paid off completely. I owned it outright, no mortgage, no debt. My car was 10 years old but reliable and fully paid for. My kids went to good public schools and had everything they needed, if not everything they wanted. We took modest vacations. We ate at home most nights. We were happy. I'd sent Lauren $3,000 a month for 60 months. That was $180,000 of my carefully saved money, money I'd earned through long hours and thoughtful budgeting, money that could have gone toward my kids' college funds, a bigger apartment, or early retirement. She'd used it to maintain a lifestyle that looked perfect from the outside. The nice house. The new cars every few years. The expensive vacations she posted on social media. All while calling me the family burden. I opened my banking app and canceled the automatic monthly transfer I'd set up years ago. Then I called my lawyer. Alan, it's Julie. I need you to draft a formal demand letter for debt repayment. By 10 o'clock my phone was ringing again. This time it was a number I didn't recognize. I answered. Is this Julie Morrison? Yes. This is Patricia Chen from First National Bank, Mortgage Services Division. I'm calling regarding the property at 847 Maple Ridge Drive. We have Lauren Morrison listed as the primary homeowner, but our records show that for the past 60 months, all mortgage payments have been coming from your personal checking account. Can you confirm you'll be continuing these payments going forward? No. I've canceled the automatic transfer. There will be no more payments from my account to that property. Silence on the other end. I could hear computer keys clicking. I see. So the mortgage payment due today, November 26th, in the amount of $3,000, will not be covered by you. That's correct. Miss Morrison, are you aware that without this payment, the account will immediately go into default status? The homeowner will receive a formal notice of default within 3 business days. I am aware. And you're certain you want to proceed with canceling all future payments? I need to note this conversation in our system. Absolutely certain. I will not be making any payments on that property, now or in the future. Understood. I'll update our records immediately and flag this account. The primary account holder will be notified of the default status. Have a good day, Miss Morrison. I hung up and made breakfast for my kids. Around noon there was pounding on my apartment door. Loud, insistent, desperate. I looked through the peephole and saw Lauren, her face red and tear-streaked, her hair messy, still wearing what looked like pajama pants under her coat. I didn't open it. Julie, please. Please open the door. The bank called. They said you canceled the payment. They said we're going into default. They said we have 30 days before they start foreclosure proceedings. Open the door. We need to talk about this. Go home, Lauren. You can't do this. We'll lose everything. The house, our equity, everything we've worked for. The kids will have to change schools. Do you understand what you're doing? You should have thought of that before you called me a burden in front of my children. I didn't say that. Tyler did. He's a kid. He doesn't understand. You laughed. You all laughed. You sat there at your beautiful table in your beautiful house that I've been paying for, and you laughed when your son called me a burden. It was just a joke. People say stupid things at family dinners. You're really going to ruin us over a joke. I walked away from the door. She pounded for another 5 minutes, then left. That afternoon my phone rang again, Lauren's husband this time. I answered on speaker while I helped Sophie with a puzzle. Julie, we need to talk about this reasonably. There's nothing to discuss. Look, I know Lauren can be thoughtless sometimes, but you're going to destroy our family over one stupid comment. I'm not destroying anything. I'm simply not paying your mortgage anymore. We can't afford it without you. Then you bought a house you couldn't afford. You have kids, Julie. Where are they supposed to go? Lauren has a job. You have a job. Figure it out like everyone else does. You don't understand. We have expenses. The kids' activities, the car payments, the expensive lifestyle you've been funding with my money while calling me a burden? I understand perfectly. What do you want? An apology? Fine. We're sorry. We're all very sorry. I don't want an apology. I want you to leave me alone. I hung up. Over the next few days the calls continued. Lauren's mother-in-law called trying to shame me about family obligations. Lauren's daughter called crying about having to leave her school. Her son called angry and demanding. I blocked all their numbers. On the 5th day a certified letter arrived at my apartment. I signed for it and opened it at my kitchen table. It was from First National Bank, addressed to Lauren but sent to my address since I'd been the one making the payments. A copy of the default notice. The mortgage was officially in arrears. They had 30 days to bring the account current or foreclosure proceedings would begin. I filed it carefully in my folder with all the bank statements showing every payment I'd made over 5 years. That evening my lawyer called. I sent the demand letter to Lauren. She has 30 days to respond with a payment plan for the $180,000 you've loaned her. She won't pay. Probably not. But now it's documented. If she continues to harass you, we can pursue legal action. Thank you, Alan. 2 weeks later, Lauren showed up at my office. Security called me before letting her up. Send her away, I told them. That night, she tried my apartment again. This time she had her husband with her. Julie, please. We're begging you. The bank is starting foreclosure. We have 60 days to get out. Our kids are devastated. I spoke through the closed door. You have jobs. Find an apartment you can afford. Nothing is available in their school district. They'll have to change schools. My kids go to public school in our district. They're fine. This is different. How? Our kids are used to a certain lifestyle. A lifestyle I was funding. While you called me a burden. We made a mistake. One mistake. Are you really this cruel? I'm not cruel. I'm just not your bank anymore. They left. Lauren's mother-in-law tried one more time, calling from a number I hadn't blocked. She told me I was selfish, that family helps family, that I was ruining children's lives over pride. Did Lauren tell you she's been taking $3,000 from me every month for 5 years? I asked. Silence. Did she tell you that's $180,000? That can't be right. Check with your son. Ask him where the mortgage payments have been coming from. She hung up. Last week I saw on social media that Lauren's house sold. Not a foreclosure. They'd managed to sell it quickly. They're renting now, a 3-bedroom townhouse in a different school district. Her daughter posted something angry about having to share a room. Her son complained about the smaller yard. Lauren sent one final text. I hope you're happy. I didn't respond. But the answer is yes. I'm happy. I'm happy that my kids know I will protect them always. That I won't tolerate them being humiliated, not even by family. I'm happy that I'm no longer funding someone else's facade while being mocked for my choices. I'm happy that I have 180,000 fewer reasons to attend Thanksgiving at my sister's house. This year my kids and I are going to volunteer at a food bank on Thanksgiving. Then we'll come home and have turkey sandwiches and watch movies. We'll be in our small paid-off apartment with our old reliable car parked outside. And we won't be anyone's burden.